Competitor, there is no finish line. So why do you keep running and looking for Competitor Nation, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new episodes that we drop here at Compete Every Day. There's one thing about success that a lot of us tend to forget. It's the fact that once you reach a goal, once you get to that certain level, that the process that you took from way down here, climbing all the way up to that one goal, it starts all the way over when you set a new goal. For some reason, if you're like me, you had this idea in your head that once you kind of work your way up to this level, that the next goal you pursue, well, it's going to be easier. It's going to be a quicker path. There's not as much work. There's not as much effort. And honestly, that delusion screwed me so very much in my teens and 20s. I would work really, really hard at something. And then I would get there and I would kind of take my foot off the gas. And I expected that once I got there, things would be easier. There wouldn't be as many challenges, that if I wanted that other goal, it should just suddenly show up much quicker for me. And there's a reason why I didn't achieve a whole lot of those goals. It was a lot of zigging and zagging and testing, and because I was looking for the easy hack. I was looking for the quick route. I thought, man, I've got to this level. I've achieved this in my education. I've done this for work. Why is it not getting easier? I kept looking for a finish line that does not exist. That's why they keep saying that life is a journey. It's not a destination. Your goals, they're a journey because it's about embracing that process. That piece we talk about in my book about why it's so key for competitors to enjoy the process of building that iceberg ice below the surface of the water. Why we have to lean into it and enjoy who we're becoming in that process, the progress we make in it. Because once we get to that goal, once we achieve something, it doesn't stop. We have to keep setting higher bars and keep going after it. And it's not like we get to the mountaintop and then it's easy. It's we get to the mountaintop, we look up and we see there's another mountain to climb. And so we have to learn to enjoy that, because otherwise what happens is we achieve one thing in our life and that's it. We don't want to do it again. Starting over, going after that is so much harder. And so we live off that one achievement. And pretty soon, we sound like that guy that is 50 or 60 years old and they're still talking like Uncle Rico about how they threw a touchdown pass in high school 40 years ago that nobody remembers. Like, that's what we sound like when we live off the past of that one victory. What we have to understand is there's no finish line, and that's okay, because what it is it's a constant process of how we're becoming better, how we're showing up and competing every day. We hit this goal, amazing, celebrate it that day, but the next day, wake up and go after the next one. Understand that you have to start that process all over again. But you see, that's what makes for special stories. That's what makes for special lives. It's understanding that it's a constant climb. There is no finish line. We have not arrived. We're always becoming something more. The hardest thing in sports is to repeat back-to-back years as a champion. Because once you get to that mountaintop once, that hunger subsides. That comfort zone feels a little more comfortable. We've been there. We're just not quite as hungry to get that goal again. And you lose the next season. That's why when you see teams win back-to-back titles, it's such an amazing accomplishment. Because somehow they got to that mountaintop, they stayed hungry, and they went back there again. And we should be driven to do the same in our career, with our fitness, with our life. Sometimes we're going to fall short of that goal, but we understand there's not a finish line. The only final chapter in our book is death. And so we need to keep running until we get there. We need to keep exhausting everything we have until that moment. We need to understand that as a competitor, we show up and compete every day to be better than yesterday, because it's about who we are becoming, the things we are pursuing. There is no arrival, because we're constantly driven to be better. Don't let this truth discourage you. Let it inspire you to keep running. That even though there may not be a finish line, who you're becoming every single day you choose to take a step forward is what's most important. Because that's what impacts your goals, whether you reach them or not. That's what impacts your relationships. The people in your life, the people looking at you, the people following you on and offline. That's what impacts them. That's how you create a ripple effect. That's how you lead effectively, is to understand I have not arrived. I'm continuing to become something greater because there is no finish line for me. If I get somewhere, great. I'm raising the bar because what I want to do is fulfill my potential to see what I was created to be. And the only way to do that is to never let up. Is to always find a way each and every day to ask yourself, how can I do one thing better today? And then do it. My prayer for you this week is that you show up and compete. That you're not discouraged by the idea that you've never arrived at this point. But you're encouraged with this idea that every single day is an opportunity to grow into something more, to become something better if you'll show up and compete. And that's what I'm cheering for you to do. Compete today, friends. Go win your week.